Hi, my name is Madison Thomas, and today I'm talking about geology. Geology is essentially the study of rocks, but not only rocks, the rocks that make up our world, whether it be plates that collide and create continents and seas and what we see above the water today, or even climate change, because the collision of plates cause earthquakes that create huge issues for humanity, but also can help us learn from them, as terrible as that sounds. Geology has really boosted the scientific depth of humanity. Because if you think about it, we can look back thousands upon thousands of years and take a single event and be able to explain it just through the rocks that were involved, essentially. People went from thinking that the earth is a cube, basically, to learning that it's a round puzzle built up of different flat rocks that have created and conjoined to make islands and plateaus and giant continents like Antarctica and the United States. It's amazing to me how people have been able to think so hard over these theories and come up with things whenever you think not super long ago we were painting our hands and putting them on cave walls. And it just absolutely blows my mind. Geology has definitely impacted society in the way we are today. As I said, they cause huge natural disasters like earthquakes. And yes, that's a terrible thing, but like I said, we can learn so much from that. Even today, I'm in design classes for my major, and I have friends who are in architecture, and they tell me that there are ways to build really tall towers and buildings that are made to sway if they're in coastal cities like Japan or not coastal cities, just places with surrounded by water like Australia, Japan, Hawaii. If you're going to have a hotel or a large business complex, they have flexing beams to make these buildings with in the case that there is an earthquake. That's how much we know about it, that we can create an entire new system of architecture based off of it, and that absolutely blows my mind. It educates us. Even though these disasters, they bring fatalities and they completely tear apart lives sometimes, but humanity as a whole is able to benefit as the years go on and learn from these happenings. Not only that, but they're able to rebuild and become closer as communities. And personally, I was able to volunteer with the Red Cross not too long ago, and I got to go to an East Coast city who suffered from one of these events, and just talking to the people, and they said, oh, we didn't have any idea that this was coming. This was just so terrible, but we know how to handle it now, and we're all still together, and there's people who will look into this event and take calculations and know how to tell whenever something else like this is coming, and future generations will be safer. It's just, you can take such a positive outlook after a terrible thing happens, and that's something that geology is really able to enforce within us as a human race. Being an art student, I'm not the most scientifically savvy, as I've said before, so seeing people be able to come up with equipment and like computer systems that can go so deep underwater that you can tell when the plates are vibrating and shifting and colliding into each other, that absolutely blows my mind. As I said before, we used to think that the earth was just a giant cube, and now scholars over the centuries have just had these incredible, just genius brains that now tell us weeks in advance when something is about to happen, which can totally allow us to prepare for the worst. And like I said, I got to work with the Red Cross, and whenever people do get news like that, there's groups of help able to go out and send food, send extra clothing, send blankets, just anything that these people might need. And that's all thanks to geology, because that's able to help us tell whenever things are about to happen. And honestly, I think that's the best way that it's helped our society as a whole, because not only is it incredible that we're able to look back in the very beginning of time and see how things changed and how our continents were able to come together and create these beautiful places that we live now, but it also teaches us that we really need to take care of the earth that we live in, because as we can tell, it's going downhill quite a bit. And I think it's time that we all take personal responsibility and start to take care of this beautiful earth that we are so blessed to be in. Thank you.